friends, this is Sharon, Texture Junkies, and you are at the Hop. This is the Makers Creative Collab Hop hosted by PM Artist Studio. And if you haven't checked them out, please do. And also check out their website because they have so many awesome stencils, and I am honored to be part of the design team. I am going to be using one of their stencils today, and you'll see how. So this is April, and it is Winging It. And I am Texture Junkies on Instagram if you want to find me. Please follow the Hop and click the link at the end of the video that'll take you to the next person in the Hop, or you can find all the information in the description below. So let's get to it. Have you ever thought, man, I would look great in that stencil, or that goes so good with my outfit? Have you ever tried to wear your stencils in your hair? Well, I'm telling you, you can. I actually had a different project, and this just clicked, and I decided that I wanted to share it. So first of all, I used this stencil. You guys saw me do it on Saturday night, and I used it on an A4 size stencil sheet. When I put them in the oven, I cut them in half. I also used a punch, added some holes, and you're about to see what I did. So, da-da-da-da, I wear these kind of hair things all the time, and they're my favorite, whether it's just a stick or it's, I don't even know what these are called, but I have many. So what I did here was I created two of them using that PM Artist Studio stencil that you saw me do. And I used a couple different mediums on here. As a mixed media artist, I just can't help myself. It's more than a couple, it's a few. So one thing I wish I would have done was use this side, actually. But I went in and used a stencil on this shrink plastic. And you can use bakery plastic as well. Just see how much it shrinks because it's all going to be different. I cut the A4 in half to get this size. I then used this punch on the ends, and I didn't waste those. I punched another smaller hole in those before I shrunk them down. As I pulled them out of the oven, I put them on a jar, and I used two different sizes here. So you just, I mean, you can touch them if you're quick. What I did was I pulled it off the sheet, wrapped it around the jar, and then I used a mitt on my hand to hold it down until it cooled, and it just took a few seconds, really. Then I used some gold around the edges, some extra. I had already done it, and I had used some markers, paint, alcohol ink. There's a lot of stuff on here, and it's all pretty cooked in, but there's something you can do if you use another medium and you feel like it's going to come off and you don't want that. Use a bit of Distress Glaze on the side that you have the medium and buff it, and it will lock it in. I used embossing powder on the stick. I love this so much. Look at that. And these are the little rings that I took off. Can you see that? Let me make sure. Those are the little rings that I took out, the big ones, and then I punched another hole on in the middle of them. With this, I actually used embossing powder, and I dabbed this all over it, made sure that my hole was good because I had made one with a wire, on this one specifically. I just poked a little hole, put the wire in the end, and I used a straight pin just in that little loop right there. After I dipped it in there, I dipped this end too. I use these sticks all the time, and it already had blue paint on it, so it was really perfect because it matches. And that's, you know, I wrapped the wire around before I did the embossing, and I did it a couple times. It was very easy because I could just dip it. I used some old broken jewelry to create that bit, and then put those rings on there with my bird. I also had punched a couple extra holes, not knowing if I was going to want to do that, and knowing I might use them. So I kind of wish I had put one in the middle as well. But I put those on there. And then with this one, I used a little eye hook and I just screwed it into the end. Can you see that? There we go. So then I dipped it in the embossing powder and I did both ends. And then this is a bit of my favorite Old English that I had covered the stick with in the first place. So it's like a stained wood. There's a tree on that one. There's one more of those little charms. There's a bell because, you know, we've got to be there with bells on. And then a little gold around that one. So I have a copper one and I have a gold one. I'll probably keep the copper one for myself. I really loved this project. It was so much fun. There are many mediums that you can use on your stencils, and there are many ways to use it. So you can actually wear your stencils. Here's another one that I just sprayed, and it's not perfect, but that is one of my stencil designs. I just punched a hole in it, cut it out, punched some holes down here, and I think it's going to go in a window. Here are a few more, and I'll be sharing pictures of these. You guys saw me make these ones, all of these, on last Saturday night in my live stream. So you can join me the first and third Saturday of the month. Thank you for being here. Please click the link at the end and follow along in our little art show with all of our quick little videos and project ideas. You have a magical day. Thanks, guys.